Be sure to cleanse yourself of all sorts of filth, for as above, so below. As within, so without. There is an unbreakable energetic connection between every cell of your body, whether sick or healthy, the microorganisms within and outside of it. Worms, their larvae, your thoughts, the external environment, the food and water you consume, and the well-being of both yourself and the entire world. So in reality, your problems are of a universal scale. This is why you need to create your own universe of well-being. Do this if you don't want your life to be controlled by various parasites. Like this video, it is full of useful information, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss important videos. In upcoming videos, we will cover topics such as cleansing the body with magnesium sulfate, deadly acidification of the body, toxin removal, step-by-step cleansing, and traditional cleansing recipes. Subscribe to learn much more. At the end of the video, you will learn that complete elimination of worms will require heavier artillery, as they also fight for their lives and are reluctant to leave their warm place with plenty of food. So, cleansing the physical body. Why do you need a general cleaning of the body? It has been known for thousands of years that about a third of diseases are treated by cleansing the intestines and proper nutrition. It has gotten to the point that doctors, therapists tell sick people trying to self-medicate the falsehood that enemas in the large intestine destroy microflora. I can assure them with regret that no patient has beneficial microflora in the large intestine. Food is not fully absorbed, accumulates in the large intestine, and serves as a peculiar breeding ground for fungi, bacteria, etc. They all produce poisonous substances. Through the walls of the intestines, they are absorbed into the small veins, then into the large ones, after which they flow into our tissues and organs in two huge streams with blood. The first stream goes to the portal vein and reaches the liver from the ascending and often transverse colon, and the second flows into the vena cava, bypassing the barrier organs, and spreads into the lungs and heart. The ascending colon is the most difficult to cleanse. It gets clogged with fecal stones that form terrible blockages in the large intestine. After cleansing, fecal stones soften and come out in large lumps. Without cleansing the intestines, there is no hope for recovery. By the way, the fact that breast tumors are more often formed in the right breast is directly related to the degree of contamination of the ascending colon. Black-green fecal stones, very light, are like a sponge soaked in poisons. Any liquefied food entering the large intestine before being absorbed from the intestinal wall will be strained through a layer of fecal stones. Since the ascending colon is clogged more than the others, all the nutrients passing through the dry fecal masses become saturated with toxins and enter the liver through the portal vein. The liver, an unfortunate barrier organ, usually already affected by fungi, giardia, worms, filters part of the toxins, directs them to the lymphatic system, clogs the lymph nodes, and sends the remaining toxins to the kidneys, which also act as blood filters. Working for a short time in this mode, these organs become infected and become the subject of research by many specialists. Treating these organs without cleansing the intestines is a completely futile endeavor. Now, there is a term, immunosuppressed organism, but I believe this accurate definition can be further clarified. The body is suppressed by poisons from its own personal waste dump, which is inside it day and night. You wouldn't buy housing next to a city landfill, would you? Right? You wouldn't. So why do you live with your dump, the one inside you, day and night, and not conduct a general cleaning? In the next videos, we will cover the topic, cleansing the body with magnesium sulfate, toxin removal, another cleansing method. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss them. And if it's not too much trouble, please like this video. Even initial infectious prostatitis should start being treated by cleansing the intestines. One should understand the following. The clogged sigmoid colon is cleansed in the 3rd week of daily enemas, and full fluid penetration to the hepatic flexure of the intestines occurs in the 4th to 5th week. It is from these periods that the fecal stones begin to exit, and the patient finds them floating on the water's surface in the toilet. It is necessary to look into the toilet at the beginning of treatment, if only to record the exit of unnatural formations and films. How long the stones will exit is hard to say. After the intestines are cleared of stones, a film rotted under the fecal blockages peels off and comes out. This is a huge film with black spots of fungal lesions. After that, you understand that the large intestine is clean and capable of fully restoring its functions. Japanese professor Katsuzo Nishi noted the fact of vascular brain damage related to a contaminated intestine. And I know that any stroke or cerebral atherosclerosis is fundamentally caused by a sick and dirty large intestine. Nishi noted another fact that all people are conditionally divided into those suffering from constipation and looseness in the form of chronically loose stools. Moreover, patients in the second group sincerely believe that they do not have constipation and there should be no fecal stones. Unfortunately, that is not the case. They have even more stones in their intestines than the first group suffering from constipation. Moreover, Professor Nishi believed that 6 out of 10 people suffering from mental illnesses, particularly schizophrenia, could be cured by simply thoroughly cleansing the intestines. Intestinal damage in a few years leads to the expansion of individual sections of the brain vessels, the colonization of their walls by pathogenic microflora and fauna. One can lose one's mind involuntarily in such a situation. There is another serious factor that worsens the peristalsis of the large intestine, the removal of a very important gland, the appendix. In modern medicine, it is not even considered a gland. Blinded by the evolutionary theory of human origin, the appendix became an allegedly unnecessary appendage, which, for some reason, often becomes inflamed and causes a lot of trouble due to the threat of peritonitis. That is, a complication in the form of inflammation of the abdominal cavity. The appendix gland should not be removed, and here is why. The appendix produces hormones that ensure normal peristalsis of the large intestine, and accordingly, the evacuation of digested food. As soon as intestinal peristalsis is disrupted, the formation of fecal stones begins immediately. There is a very rigid dependence between appendix removal, gastrointestinal diseases, and subsequent oncological disease many years later. There is also a primitive explanation for the inflammation process in the appendix. Allegedly, it becomes inflamed due to mechanical contamination, and the cause may be hair, seed husks accidentally ingested with food. This is not true. The cause of this gland's inflammation is always infectious, and 3 infectious causes have been identified through research: whipworm, helminths, pinworms, helminths, trichomonas, protozoa. In some patients, these guests emerged from the intestines as a very dense mucus, with worms of one species inside another. It is clear that this filth smells very bad, and what is especially horrifying is that this mucus did not contain individual worms or eggs with larvae, but something resembling a constructed nest. It's amazing how these creatures adapt in a foreign organism, creating a reliable defense around themselves. And upon external examination, it is immediately clear to a sane person that a single course of deworming tablets won't even anger them, and heavier artillery will be needed for their complete destruction. Do not perform enemas with warm water, as it is absorbed into the intestinal walls through the fecal stone layer and becomes poisonous to the body. Enemas should be done after a natural bowel movement, preferably in the morning. If the intestines are cleared as much as possible, evacuation after an enema goes more freely. If there is no bowel movement in the morning, simply induce it with a preliminary shallow enema of 300 to 400 milliliters. Due to being busy, do not attempt to cleanse the intestines after work. They are still filled with food and not ready for evacuation. The liquid will enter with difficulty. It is better to get up earlier if you work. Cleanse the intestines thoroughly once, and over time, with proper nutrition, you will regain a blooming appearance. Parasites are also living creatures. They fight for their lives and are reluctant to leave a warm place with plenty of food. It takes a lot of patience to drive them out of your body, so do not be lazy. Do everything for recovery. In addition to getting rid of worms, you should clean out the deposits of toxins and wastes, which also serve as an excellent nutrient medium for other parasitic creatures. Even if you are tidy, you may deny the presence of worms and other deposits in your body, but they are there. In the next videos, we will cover the topic, cleansing the body with magnesium sulfate, toxin removal, another cleansing method. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss them. Thank you for watching.